This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
Good day, fine listeners, and welcome back. Today, I am extraordinarily excited to introduce to you a friend of the podcast that you have heard before playing with us as we played the One Ring in a scenario from Kinstrife. It is the man behind the Sweden Rolls role-playing podcast, the main writer and game creator of YGGDRASIL Burns, and also, as it happens, a fantasy music creator. You could probably describe it better yourself. Andreas Lundström, welcome back.
Thank you. So happy to be back. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, I'm super excited to have you here as well. This is so fun. This kind of flanked us in a way that I felt like we just have to do this thing with you because YGGDRASIL Burns is just too fun to pass up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, and also perhaps if I did get the things right now that I tried to introduce you properly?
Yes, of course. So, I'm a fellow podcaster from Sweden Rolls, and we did quite a few recordings together, you and me, in the Sweden Rolls podcast, Hjalmar, last year during GothCon. And we've been around for around about 7 years-ish, something like that. And I'm also, as you said, the main writer and game creator behind Nordic Skalds, a new publishing company who have done some third-party products for Dragonbane, called Windhame, the Windhame Companion, which is a setting book, and Traces of Darkness, which is part 1 in an epic campaign trilogy. And then we also did a silly little comedy game called My Father's Sword, and now we are having an upcoming Kickstarter called YGGDRASIL Burns, which is a third-party product for MÖRK BORG. Is it a setting? Is it a game of its own? It's somewhere in between. I mean, the book will be like standalone. You won't need the MÖRK BORG game to play YGGDRASIL Burns, but the rules are very, very similar to the MÖRK BORG rules. I've kept the rules very, very closely, tight and close to the original rules with some modifications. So the big thing is, of course, the setting, which is a Scandinavia where the Christian god is angered because of the Viking raids on Lindisfarne and other monasteries and Christian villages in England and France. So he has fettered the Aesir and Vanir Norse gods. They've all been fettered and they have no power, basically, almost no power. The Skalds can get some power from the Aesir, but not much. And the Christian god has basically just raised and burned all of Scandinavia. So the water is poisonous, the ground is burning or ashen, and there is very little food, and what food is often like poisonous and rotten, very MÖRK BORG-ish. And the characters take on the role of Skalds, Skalds being kind of a Norse bard, who knows all the sagas and all the Norse myths by heart. And these Skalds traverse this cursed land. They are cursed Skalds in a cursed land. And they traverse the land in search of these myths, trying to find out if there's any truth to them. And in terms of longer campaigns, we'll see what happens. This is still an alpha, I should also point out. We are doing one of the very first playtests, actually. So this is just an alpha, and rules and stuff may change when the game is finished.
And whom do I have the honor of joining me as a Skald in arms, or brother in Skaldishness, as we should say? Is there anyone in here besides Andreas?
Yes, I'm here. My name's Craig.
Oh, goodness, I'm so relieved. I thought I was going to face all of this burning poisonousness alone. But
I mean, you will. You will be facing it alone, but maybe I'll laugh.
Okay. Well, that feels good. Yes. I feel like maybe that's what I need. The moral destruction of a laughing uncompanion.
Yes.
Well, That's so awesome, and yes, I enjoyed very much playing with you last year at GothCon. Did you? I think you published that too, right? That was part of Windheim.
Oh yeah, they're out there.
Yes.
I think actually you guys made a better job at advertising the one-shots than we actually did ourselves. We are lousy at social media and stuff like that, so I actually think you did some great advertising for them.
I'm glad you think so, and I hope, we will strive to do the same thing here, because fun things like this deserve a little bit of a highlight. And, I won't lie, we have played MÖRK BORG once before, and it's one of our most viewed videos, so it's very fun to get a reason to come back and revisit the system, albeit with a very different touch here. The core book that I have here it's just stunning. I love what you've done with the art and the feeling and the kind of poems or hymns that you've put in there as well. It brings on a very intense and nice feeling.
We tried to include some like actual stuff from the Edda and the Norse sagas, some quotes, and also, of course, a quote on the good Lord's vengeance from the Bible, from the Psalms, and to just create this atmosphere that we hope will come into the game, and then also writing a few of my own, like the woe of the skald, a skald that is lamenting this lost world. It's just what we in Sweden called fluff, just some atmospheric stuff, and then you get into the rules. And some of the art is by Johan Noor, the original illustrator and graphic designer of MÖRK BORG. So he's working with us on this product as an art director and cover illustrator, and he's doing some inlay illustrations as well. And then we have a lot of public domain stuff. And then Christian, our graphic designs guy, has done quite a few illustrations of his own, actually.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like it is a nice mix of kind of art styles, how it's all down, and some of them looking more like photography. Like the one next to creating your skald, that kind of blood red face with the blue eyes staring at you. I kind of find myself hypnotized by that as I was going into character creation. But yes, you'll see for yourselves when you back it and get the material, of course. So without too much further ado, I think we should roll into a kind of mock character creation, because me and Craig have kind of made characters, but we don't know everything about each other. So why don't you just run us through that? Like, what is it that we need to do, and then we'll represent to you what we have chosen at the different sections.
Awesome. There are no like classes or professions in this game, but there are backgrounds, because you're all skalds. But depending on what background you have, like what were you before the world ended? So depending on that answer, you will get a slight bump in one attribute to start with, and you'll also get an iconic item depending on your background, basically. So let's start there, shall we?
All right. Well, once upon a time, I was a jarl. I was the lord of a mighty stronghold. Now my home is a barren wasteland, as it says, and I am a beggar. But in these lands where all men are empty shadows, my inner spirit can still glow and shine as a beacon for others to rally to. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what I like to pay, which means that I would have a +4 in spirit and the inspire talent, along with a iconic item being a Jarl's golden arm ring. Would you be happy with that, Andreas?
Yeah, of course. Whatever you feel like. And as you said, you get a talent as well, because there are a bunch of talents, and as you level up, or so to say, in time, you will be able to choose more talents. But everyone starts with one talent as well, and yours is inspire.
Yes.
And your golden armoring is like it's your one possession you have left of value from your days as a jarl.
Yeah, and does that do anything, or is it just this is more for flavor, like?
I'm going to say it's up to... I like when I write games to leave a lot up to the game master. If I would game master this, which I will be doing now, like you could choose to sell it, but if you would of course get something really, really good for it. Like you could use it to trade, but you could also perhaps like invoke it in a role where showing off wealth would give you a bonus, I'd say.
Great. Then I feel like it'll be more fun to keep it and see what it can turn into. Kind of crazy situation I'll end up needing to use it in.
Amazing. And Craig, what have you chosen?
I have chosen Evolver. I am Evolver. Yes, I'm Evolver. In the the other thing I said sounds a bit weird. Evolver. Yes.
It's very close to it, but
yes. In the old days, when the powers of Aesir and Vanya flow through every fibre of Midgard, the power of Freyr gave me the ability to go to a trance to see the future. And the curses I uttered were feared, and my staff was filled with power. And now, not so much. But now I have the Seed talent, so I can roll to see some future. Maybe some visions. +4 in spirit as well. And I have a Volder staff.
Yes, indeed.
Is that correct? Is it called the Seed talent? Sade?
Sade.
Savor.
Savor.
Yeah. We tried to keep some Old Norse like letters and then the choice of spelling, because there's an Old Norse spelling, there's the contemporary like Icelandic and Norwegian, Danish and Swedish. So with the spelling of all these things, it's all a bit mishy-mashy. But it's also like the game, it's like I'm a huge history fan and I like to get all nerdy and get into history and historical correctness. But I do think with this game, if you go the Vaesen way and say that this is not like actual history, which if it of course isn't, then we can do a bit what we want with things like Seid or Velva or spellings and using NPCs from history, even though they might not have lived at the same time in actual history, but these two characters are too cool not to include in the game and stuff like that.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah, I love that. When there's a bit of genuinity brought into it, kind of anchoring it in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So the Velva is basically like a shaman, which can, when you with your talent Seid, you can look into the future and get glimpses of what might be a good choice or bad choice. And, yeah.
Cool. So we're both kind of spirit heavy, whatever that means, characters, which I suppose kind of leads us into abilities.
Indeed. So in MÖRK BORG you actually roll for your abilities. I am a huge fan of allocation of attributes or abilities. So in this case you just you have -3, -2, -1, +1, +2 and +3, which you may allocate to wherever you want.
Yes,
right.
And I did that. I think Hjalmar did too.
I did indeed, but I and then I roll for hit points, which is health plus D8, or health, yes, plus D8. Oh, wait a second. For some reason, I think I read health minus D8. That's
no.
funny.
Well, if you picked minus in health, it is like D8 minus health.
Oh yeah, that's true. Right. So I have a very non-combaty character right now. We might change something if you feel like it would be appropriate with let's see. I had a strength of -2, agility -3, and then I've written health -1. But maybe that was then what I need to also add a D8 to.
So you'd roll the D8 -1. So you add your health.
Yes, I'm. Oh yeah, that gives me a hit points of 2 because I did roll a 3.
That is a very, very squishy character.
It's very, very squishy. So I suppose we could rearrange something if you feel it would be appropriate, because then I only have like my high spirit, which is a 6 with the +4, and the knowledge 1 and perception 3. So I suppose I'm only really good at perception and spirit. We could move around the perception and knowledge if you think that'd be a good idea.
I just realized one thing, because the +4 that you get in spirit, both of you through your background, that is supposed to be I originally wrote +1 because, but then I thought it might be confusing because there is a +1 here already. So what that means is that you would probably allocate your +3 to spirit, which through your background would like bump it up by 1 to a +4.
Oh, to a 4.
To a +4 total.
Right. So if I put my 3 into spirit, it would be a 4. So
exactly.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry about the confusion. This is something definitely we have to.
Oh right, so it's like
rewrite.
it's an upgrade step as opposed to an actual +4. Oh yes, that.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It's just that with these backgrounds, you're assumed to put +3 in spirit for a Velva or a Jarl, and then you would like get a +1 for that. I need to rearrange that. I need to.
Is it a bad
that.
idea that we both have spirit characters? Because I could choose something else and just roll with it.
We need to check how this works.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you're
fine,
both super
roll.
squishy, I need to find out if that's going to be a problem with.
Yeah, the
scenarios.
game needs to.
Like,
So I spirit, but I have other stats.
What did you put your stuff into?
So I've got +2 strength and +1 health, and then a +4 spirit, and then it's a -1 agility, -2 knowledge, -3 perception. So I can't see anything. So
right.
if you could see things,
you're on the blind seer.
Yes.
Okay, so you're at least a bit more combat.
Exactly. I got a +2
yeah.
strength. Yes, and I've got H6 health.
Okay, that's good. And just like in MÖRK BORG, we have all rolls all made with a like skill rolls or tests as they're called here, just as in MÖRK BORG. You roll a d20 and then you add or subtract your ability, and that's called then you have to meet or be above a difficulty rating.
Yes,
cool.
And I also because I'm a Volva, get crappy equipment. So but I rolled high on crappy equipment, so I got a short sword and a skull cap to start with.
All right, cool.
I've got a long sword and a thick, stinking hide.
Nice. And finally, there's the curses table, which is a silliness to have for fun, I feel, and I rolled a terrible rash and nightmares.
Okay.
Oh, so thematically, I feel I have a missing eye because of my perception -3.
Oh, perfect.
And one-eyed. And I called myself Sigvald Crow.
Sigvald
Crow, young man.
Sigvald Crow. What? You're gonna be an old man.
I'm an old man.
I was also gonna be an old man.
Excellent. We are old skalds.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's amazing.
I haven't rolled my curses. I realized I completely missed out on the curses section.
Let's do that. It's
right.
a D12, but I haven't really finished it. So if you rolled like very high on the roll, we'll have to re-roll.
Okay then, fair. So let's roll for my physical curse first, which will be it will be a re-roll. It will be a gouged out eye. Oh, nice.
Great. We're both. I mean, my eye is just blind, but yours is gouged out. Let's go with that.
That's why
I've got a blind
so
eye.
amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Oh, fantastic. So my mental curse then. That's gonna be a nervous laughter. Okay. Okay, very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
I think I missed somewhere because since you as a Velva only roll a D2 for weapons and armor, that's actually because you start with a runic spell, Craig.
Ah, lovely. But I think in the alpha, it doesn't actually say.
It's
yet.
not mentioned
Yes,
anywhere. Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Let's you can choose. It's on page
Spell,
21.
Yes, let's see. Let's go with lightning of 4. There we go. Call down lightning from the sky. 2d10 damage to D3 creatures. And to do it, I need to.
You roll for spirit. Let's see now. Test spirit, difficult rating 12, to read the runes through and activate the spell. Failure means losing 2 HP and becoming dazed for an hour.
So D4 plus spirit. So if my spirit is 4 and I rolled a 3, 4, 5. So I think I can cast that 7 times a day?
You do it. You do that at the start of every day. So for the first day, you can do it 7 times, and then if we have a night where you rest, then you wake up the next day and you re-roll for your runic spell.
Lovely. There we go. So for the first day, I have 7 uses of Call Lightning. If I succeed, of course.
And this runic spell, these runes are carved into what you recognize to be a rib.
Yes. Well, actually, you know what? With a bad knowledge skill, I don't remember. I just know it has power. Wonderful, yes. But yes, I was wondering that, because that wasn't in the current alpha. I was thinking that's probably the background that starts with the spell.
Yeah, exactly, because thralls and Völva, they roll only a d4 instead of a d6 for starting weapon and armor.
I like the idea of, I'll call out to listeners, the idea of the thrall background, because it's essentially the background that's like, you're not actually from Scandinavia. You might be from somewhere else in the world of this time period, which is quite cool.
You're probably French or English, and you have a talent called Erländer, which means you can talk to the Christians as one of their own.
That's
which could prove useful, especially in a campaign, because the overall narrative storyline is that the bishop Ansgar, which is the bishop who is attributed to be responsible for Sweden becoming a Christian people, basically. So in all history books, there's always a picture of Ansgar, like a bishop, and he's like, every time there's a timeline of Swedish history, Ansgar is always placed somewhere in the 800s.
Early missionary.
Yeah, an early missionary who baptized a few of the first kings. But in this game, he's the main antagonist, because he's looking for people who's not been baptized yet. Because if you get baptized, maybe you could lead a slightly better life, because some of the villages in this cursed land has actually been spared due to its king having been baptized recently. So these are some of the places you could go to, like I think Birka and Klagstorp and another old village in Denmark have leaders who are Christians. So these villages are places you can visit to actually stock up on some edible food. But then you have to travel there, and travel in this cursed land is also dangerous. So it's,
Well, I'm excited to get into all the curseness and the terribleness of it all. Is there anything else that we need for our creation? We've got our inventory as well.
Have you, could you just drop a sentence or two about something about your background, and then when you both are finished, maybe a sentence or two on how you guys met?
Where could we be in Sweden? What's a place that we could have had a stronghold where I could have been a nice jarl? Or maybe, are we in Sweden? We're somewhere in Scandinavia, right?
Somewhere in Scandinavia, yeah.
All right.
Maybe you could be somewhere in Västergötland, Östergötland, because we don't really have any named villages there for now.
Yes. I was the jarl in the mighty village of Albinstorp. And there I ruled justly and with to the great benefit of so many people, and for a long time we had peace, and that was beautiful. But then they came and they forced upon us beliefs, and they took all my people from me. I lost my position of power. And now it is just me on my knees trying to make my way to one of the bigger cities where I perhaps can gain a favor of someone, maybe gain a bit of coin. I just need a little bit of coin to make do. Yeah, that's me. And the question is that how does Sigvald Crow come into that?
What was your name again?
My name is Valdgrim Thorvaldsson.
Well, yes, I am Sigvald Crow, and I have wandered the land for, I don't know, some time, I suppose. And I came upon this Valdgrim, his failed land, as all lands now are failed. But the runes, the blood runes, and the signs told me that this fool has a purpose. He will aid me in my quest. And what is my quest? It is to do the will of the gods as they die. I'm pretty sure the gods are all dying, but I will find some purpose. And if that purpose is to die with lightning, then it shall be so, and if this Valgrim must die for the gods, it shall be so. Until then, I will follow them. Yes, because I recognize something in them. I recognize the gold glint of once some importance, and perhaps that could be of use.
Yes, Sigvald is a great support to me, for since everyone else turned away, he still has some hold of the old ways. He knows many things. Perhaps his way of reading the runes will be part of what leads me back to my former glory.
So there you have it. So I think I can summarize on my end. I think he might be of some use to something, probably dying. But then, that's fine. and he wants to, reclaim his old glory. That's us too. Us two old, dying Skalds. Well, maybe not dying just yet, but soon, I'm sure.
And investigating these old sagas and Norse myth, but to you they're not myth, they're actual history, and you traverse the lands in search of these stories, because the more info you have on the stories, the more gloriously you can tell your tales, and that's how you earn your upkeep. You travel from place to place and tell stories, so they will give you food and shelter, basically. I think coin is something, it's played its part in these lands. It's just food and items. That's what people trade, basically.
Great. So
if someone tries to buy something from you with a silver coin, you would say, I can't eat that.
I want to get by. I just want to get by, and I want to... I can't sell my old arm ring. I can't sell it. That would be denying everything that I have done so far. No, it will stay with me, despite everything. And so I travel with my stinking hide wrapped around me, but it does bring me warmth and to some degree of protection. And also for protection I have my long sword. It was specifically made for me, and one of the few things that I got to keep when our town was falling apart.
I think you probably met on the road. You met somewhere in by the coast of what is now Västergötland, Dalsland, the northern west coast of Sweden, rather close to what is now Norway. And in these lands, if you meet someone who doesn't kill you, then that person is someone that might help keep you alive. So, yeah, I think naturally that Sigvald has seen a glint of gold from Valgrim's armoring, and seeing that this has been a person of importance at some point might be useful. And Valgrim sees the Völver staff of Sigvald and thinking that, okay, so a Völva could be of use for me as well. And you've heard rumors that in the old village of Kaupang in Skiringsal, the hall of Halfdan the Black, the old king of Westfold, which is the even though it's called Westfold, it's actually the southeasternmost part of what is now Norway. And it's said that he still dwells there and that he still keeps the old ways. So instead of going down southwest to the Christian villages of what is now Denmark, you are traveling northwest through northern Västergötland and Dalsland, which is at this point called Alfheim, actually. And you're traveling towards Skiringsal to see what Halfdan the Black, former king of Westfold, could have to offer to you. And give us an example of the conversation on the way. And the landscape about you is the sea, Kattegat to your west, is wild and roaring. It's not a sea you don't want to sit down in a fishing boat and go out there in search for fish, because the water is roaring constantly. There's like a constant storm out on the seas, and the land that you're traversing is brownish gray. You can clearly see that the ground has been burning and that some kind of curse has been laid on the land, because basically nothing grows here. It's a wasteland. It's a barren wasteland. But give us an example of a conversation that you guys are having on the road.
Well, I mutter to myself constantly as I scratch at my hideous skin rashes. I gaze about with my eyes both dimming, for my vision will soon be lost to me, but I can still see, and I just lead the way with my staff, muttering and occasionally glancing back at the fool who follows me, for I call all fools, including myself. And in fact, that's what I'm saying out loud as I walk beside you. All fools, fools, fools!
I think to myself that this is a very sprightly old man that I have with me. His age and his dimming eyes does not reflect the way he moves quickly along this coast as a sea roars to our left. I look out at it occasionally with my one eye. The other one was gouged out by one of my opponents as the village was going under, and I challenged them, but I failed. And as he starts talking again, as he does, I say to that, yes, they are, many of them, most of them, probably. Sigvald, what fools are you thinking of this time?
All of them. They have all betrayed the All-Father. They have bought the end. They have. I've seen it in the clouds and the skies and the dead birds.
Yeah, the fires, it's poisoned the land. This is what we have all ended up in, but we will make something of it. Say, did I ever tell you about old Grandil Thrusk, my ancestor?
Yes! Nonsense it was. Lies, I imagine. No? Tell me again.
Well, the ferocity of the sea, as I look out at it now, and it reminds me of him. The tales of how he used to wrestle the waves, going out there, find himself a whale, and drag it up on the shore with his own two hands for the entire village to feast upon. Oh, there's nothing such sweet as the taste, the thickness of the whale's meat. Have you sampled it, Sigvald? Have you, Sigvald?
I sampled much once, Now there is nothing, except an old fool boasting. What have you done? And I come forward and pop him on the head, just lightly with my staff. You say your ancestor rested the sea creatures. What did you do, old Valdgrim?
What I did, I did many things. I inherited part of the might of my ancestors. It is with me here in this ring. You see this, the manifestation of their strength in this ring that would only fit my arm and no one else. And I have to kind of push it up a little bit because it's slipping.
And I gaze at the glint of the gold on Valdgrim, and I nod and I say, yes, all you are worth now, Valdgrim. But that is why we venture onwards to this black king, this half-hand. You will use this, yes, we will use this to show the time has come for action. Action!
But it is true that half-done sticks to the ways. It is true. Perhaps we shall be more welcome there than we have in other places. What of yourself? I know you told me once about what you did before you passed by Albin's Torp, or the remains that was there. How come you were out on this road? Volva, surely your powers must still be of appreciation to the people.
Pah! What is power if it cannot feed? What is wisdom if it cannot lead? All useless. I scratch at my face a little. But the gods must be found. They have fallen, but we shall find them. We shall find them. Yes, we shall.
I look at your face and the rash that you have, and I take a few steps to the side, breathing in a bit of the air of the sea, hoping it will keep me from gaining whatever it is that has afflicted you.
And I march onwards with my stick, muttering onwards, always muttering about gods and blood and death.
And as you are going through the land, I have actually made some random rolls here, or a random roll. And I need you both to test agility or perception, difficulty rating 12.
I shall test my agility, for I cannot see very well at all.
I shall test my perception, for I cannot move hardly anything at all.
And that, with a -1, is a 1!
And that, with a +2, is a 15. No, 17.
For perception, right? Yes. You notice that the sky above you starts to clear up, which is unusual. There's perpetually clouded sky above you. And suddenly the sky above starts to clear up. But instead of sunlight, a terrible hailstorm starts raining through the parted clouds. And you realize that there shouldn't be hail coming from a clear sky. And the hail that is coming is actually rain of fire. Small hails of fire is beginning to drop from the sky. But you notice this in time. And you manage to find some kind of shelter for you both. What kind of shelter do you find?
I find a cave. There are some of the regions here are quite mountainous, and along the coast there are the occasional caves that dent the cliffs. And so I see this opening just in time as this strange phenomenon occurs, and I call for Sigvald to get in there with me, and if he isn't quick enough, I'm going to try and drag him, although I'm very weak, so I am not very good at dragging.
As he tries to drag me, I fall over and kind of stumble into this cave, and I turn to try and swat at you. What are you doing? Your hands off me, you fool! You fool!
Just stop, calm it down, Sigvald Crow. Did you not see out there the weather? The parting of the clouds? No, of course, how foolish I am. Of course you wouldn't see. There rains down hails of fire. An omen it must be.
Yes, an omen. A fell omen, and I stay on the ground, having fallen. But I will, perhaps on the ground, begin trying to trace a pattern in the mud or the dust. I'd like to try and see what this omen could mean. I would like to roll my ability that will give me a vision of the future or success.
Would like to perform a save.
Yes.
Right. So you roll spirit against the difficulty rating that you have for your background for save.
Indeed.
Which is...
And that is a 24.
Oof. Well, I don't need to check
That's a
what
crit,
the difficulty rating is for that.
Yes, it's 10, but yes, that's a critical 24.
That's a crit. That's right. Okay, interesting. So, you read the signs in the mud and you go into a trance and you get flashes of visions in your mind and they become more and more clear. Yes, the All-Father is setting a quest for you. The All-Father is guiding your steps north towards Skiringsal, where you will hear a rumor which you must follow. You will hear a rumor in Skiringsal about something. You must investigate it. It is of utmost importance, and if you succeed, you will be greatly rewarded. Yes, indeed, greatly rewarded.
My eyes roll back for a moment as I drool, and maybe a minute passes, and then I shiver a little and I say, Yes, Valdgrim, you fool, yes.
You see it? You understand what it means?
We must go to the village, and we must follow the signs. The signs. You will follow them, Valdgrim, you fool. And I will follow you.
Village? Do you mean Skiringsal?
Yes, of course, you fool.
And I laugh nervously to myself, as I have started doing lately. I don't know why. Yes, we must travel to Skiringsal. We shall follow the signs just as you say. The Christian God tries to stop us with signs of hail and fire. They're not going to stop neither of us. No.
The false god has tried to smite the All-Father, but he shall fail.
He shall fail. He shall fail. Now, is it clear to move out?
Yes, the hail is beginning to subside, and you wait for another few minutes, and then you walk out, and you realize you need to perhaps step along the waterline for a while. Even though the chilling waters chill you to the bone, it's still better than walking on embers on the ground.
And so we do. And we start making our way, now more hastily and encouraged, towards Skiringsal and the hold of Halfdan the Black, where the signs shall show us the way.
Indeed, I follow carefully behind this golden fool. But yes, the signs we must follow. The signs that lead us to our fate.
As night comes, because in this dark land where everything is dark, there is still different degrees of dark, and as the sun sets above the clouds, you can hardly see the hand in front of you. But you do notice fire in the horizon. Fire signals some kind of homestead, some kind of dwelling of some sort. Hopefully. And you walk on.
I see a fire in the distance, Sigvald Crow. I think it'd be better to seek safety for the night.
Yes, go forth, Valdgrim. Whisper your honeyed words to these fools.
Yes, I will speak to them. Come now.
And as you draw closer, you see to your left, along the shoreline, you see what was once a great village. This must be the old great village of Kaupang, and now only a very, very small fishing harbor remains with 3 or 4 fishing vessels, small ones, are pulled up onto the shore. But you see many ruins of houses here. This village has been smitten by the wrath of the Christian god, the carpenter god, as you call him, scornfully. And on a hill, half an hour's walk uphill from this village, you see a mighty hall. It's surrounded by a ringed wooden palisade. But there can be no mistake. This must be the Skillingsal, the Hall of Halfdan the Black, that you've arrived to.
We're already there. This must be it. I thought at first I'd come upon some smaller campsite, but no, it matches. This was once the village of Kaupan now. Now, this must be it. This must be, if the signs are correct.
The signs are always correct, Valdgrim, and this indeed is the village. Behold, look upon it. Weakness, cowards, fools, all this land lost. Where are the skalds of old? Where are the carls? Where are the shield maidens? Fools, fools!
This actually reminds me of my old ancestor. Did I ever tell you about old Grandil Thrusk?
Yes, constantly, often. No, yes, tell me again.
Well, he was a great storyteller. He would gather the entire village, and sometimes even more than so, the entire land came to him. The fishes would jump out of their waters. The birds would descend. They would defend their honor by coming down from the sky. And all the animals of the lands came to gather around him and his fire to hear his stories. He spoke to nature, you see.
Were they stories of the gods?
Of course, the only true stories, as they were once written down.
Good. The stories of old, now forgotten. And in this fugue state, I will start walking towards this keep, eager to enter.
So you want to go up straight to the hall, basically?
Indeed,
Yes.
I have no time for peasants and fishermen.
I will keep my eyes open and look around. I am unsure of how exactly we will be received. You never know. Maybe there's someone I do know that I don't want to see again.
You go up to the wooden palisade where there is a guard posted up on, some kind of, on top of the wall. And he hails you. Who goes there?
Hail! We are but simple wanderers of the road. We have heard that the mighty Halfdan the Black still sticks to the old ways here in this glorious settlement of Skillingsal.
That is true, and what's that to you?
This is Valdgrim Tolriksson. Tell them of your deeds.
That is right. I'm Valdgrim Torvaldsson, once Jarl of Albinstorp that fell to the foul carpenter ways of the new self-proclaimed gods.
And what business do you have for Halfdan the Black?
Well, I bring with me none less than Sigvald Crow, The Valva, bringing with him the Völrstaff.
Aye, and I bear word and counsel. You can cast us to the night and doom yourselves, or you can welcome us in, as the rituals of old dictate, and we shall deliver you to glory.
I think you have made a good presentation of yourselves and a good case for being let in, so I'm going to let you roll a spirit with a DR10.
That is a 40 plus 4, so it's 18.
I see. Well, the any Völva will be welcome here. Halfdan the Black rejoices in hearing the visions of your scythe. I will let you in. And the huge gate creaks open in the night. And you see before you a great hall, and you see fire inside. And you look up at this sentry who was standing guard, and you notice that in this land where basically everyone you ever meet are more or less starved to death, he seems to be doing okay. He does not seem to fare that bad, actually.
He still I say this to you, observing with my one eye. I have gotten into relaying what I see to you, and I say, I see this sentry, this guard. He doesn't seem to be faring too badly. No, he still has a little bit baby fat on his cheeks.
Delicious on a fire. Wait, what?
I say to you that we might find both food and shelter here.
We will find both, and they will give it, and they shall be glad. And I stumble forward, spit on the ground twice, as is tradition, and move past this guard, saying, "Make way, we seek the king!"
I bang my sword twice with my hand in approval.
You'll find the king in the hall. The doors are open.
As we start walking, I say, what are these signs that we are supposed to be looking for, and where will they show themselves?
They will show themselves where they need to show themselves, and I will know them, for I shall know them. These questions belay your lack of faith, Valdgrim. For your own soul, I would be silent.
Yes.
And I nodded approval, and secretly, deep down, I look forward to the fire and perhaps a bone to suckle on. I am hungry.
You go up the hill to the hall, and you hear the sound of merrymaking inside. People are singing, and maybe you even hear the banging of a few tankards. That's a noise you haven't heard for a long while.
They have mead. That must be mead. Why have tankards if they don't have mead? What would I do for a tankard of mead right now?
Calm yourself, Aldgrim. Remember, we will not share our information for free. We will demand food and fire for our services.
We have something that they don't. We have a lot. Yes. Let's make our case.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play YGGDRASIL Burns by Nordic Skalds, with our dear friend Andreas Lundström. YGGDRASIL Burns is live on Kickstarter right now, and you can find a link in the show notes. This series features music created by Andreas himself specifically for this game. And we have also used tracks from Agersona's fantastic album Niflheim, which was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, Lily, Maciej, Black Templar, Dennis Sadecki, and Leonhardt for their generous support. We would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of the Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, and you can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings, and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as even play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that supports what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember to revere the old gods.